Hi friends, welcome back. You are watching day 10 of our 13 days of Halloween series here at Polly's Paper Studio. Now, if you're just joining in, you can find links for the first 9 days at the top of the description. And we are going to also be celebrating World Card Making Day with this very sweet Halloween greeting card. Now, for our projects, up to this point, we have been using very traditional color palettes and iconic holiday images and made some very fun and festive projects. I thought it would be fun today to switch that up and create more of a shabby chic inspired card. This is not quite whimsical or as young at heart as my previous projects, but this is right up my alley. This is the style that I really love. So stick with me and we'll make this card together. Okay, here's that paper pad that we are working with today. And so this is the Harvest Meadow collection. It's a hot buy paper pad. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite from the season so far. And I'm also going to incorporate one of the larger cut aparts, and so this one would typically be too large for my project, but I'm going to use a stitch square die to help me reduce the background on that image. And then I'm also going to cut out this portion of the banner and then adjust it so that I cover the top banner, so my whole image will say pumpkins please instead of autumn, and that way we can use this cut apart for our Halloween projects. So we're just going to make a easy fun fold card. I've got 2 strips of 65-pound weight cardstock here. They're both 12 inches wide. They are both 6 inches high. My first one I'm going to score at 6, and I've put my adhesive on the back of this one. The second one I did the same, score at 6, but I also scored it at 3. And so this will be the step portion in the front of our card. So I'm just going to adhere one to the other, and then we will have the base for our card. It just lines right up. So this will be the back portion, and then our card will set up this way. I do want to finish the inside with the collection paper just so that it has a nice finished look inside and out. And so I'm going to use that larger scale pumpkin. This is so beautiful, and those soft peaches are just lovely. And so I'm going to take inspiration from that and use a softer peach for my matting, and that's going to be throughout because I do like it to be consistent. I'm going to put the same panel on the cover, and a portion of this will fall behind that step area, and so this will be a background for that. Now my final 2 portions of the card are going to have a secondary pattern, and so this is just a little bit lighter, has a geometric kind of design, and that will really help to break up some of the busyness of our original larger panel. And I'm going to put that on the front and what will be the inside once it's folded. So this will be the cover of our card, and it will have that beautiful pattern on the bottom and the pumpkins on top. So now what I want to do is bring in a portion so that I can include a larger focal image panel, and I'm going to switch to 110-pound cardstock for that because I do want it to be very sturdy. And so I cut my panel. This is a 5-inch square of the 110-pound cardstock. I flipped it over on the back, and then I centered it so that I know where it's going to fall when I position it. I put a pencil line at the top of each edge here, and then I just went ahead and added my adhesive below that line so that I do not accidentally wind up sealing this closed. Now this is going to have a fair bit of weight on it, so I'll just go ahead and add a layer of my Tombow, and that way it will be extra secure. So now I just need to flip this over and reposition it. I'm just centering it And so that way I'll have a nice amount of the background showing for the top and the bottom. And so that Tombow will help to keep this in place while the glue sets up. Now I have my secondary pattern for the front, and this was probably a toss-up for favorite pattern from the tablet, this one or the one in back. And I just really love those soft peaches, and the blue background with the stylized sunflower makes it a little bit more updated, I think, to have a stylized flower in the background. I still use that same peachy pink matting, and so this is all going to coordinate very nicely. Okay, now I'm going to add another panel for the front, but this time I'm going to raise it up, and I want to get a little bit of dimension from this. So once again, we're just centering everything as we layer up our patterns. And then here's the top of that cut apart that I showed you, and you can see that my square had a stitched detail around it, so that's a nice little extra detail. And so I had to cut the portion off the bottom to make it fit. I'm going to add it back on. I did run that second piece through the die cut machine with the edge so that I would have that consistent stitched detail, but I see I have to join these back together to get them to fit into this square. And now I've got my Pumpkin Please banner. Remember, that was down here. I went ahead and I fussy cut that out and added my foam tabs to the back so that I can pop that layer up too. And so I'm just going to bring it over where the Autumn Please portion is. I need to just hold this up a little so that I can see where I'm adding this. And so the cut portions will be disguised underneath of our flower arrangement, so I don't need to worry about those showing. So far what we have is our beautiful large focal image with the pumpkin and our banner. So next I'm going to bring in our flowers, and so these arrangements are created with a combination of some Wild Orchid Craft chrysanthemums and cherry blossoms, and then I also added in some Made by Me flowers, and I was inspired by that background pattern, that beautiful blue, and so I wanted to bring that up to the front of the card. I've also put a little bit of gold netting here, a much simpler and sweeter leaf combination. I don't have all the glittery edges that I've been using. And then for my ribbon trim, this is a beautiful seam binding. I picked that up from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and I think that it coordinates so nicely with that soft pinky peach color of my cardstock. So I'm just going to add this one to the bottom. Now see, I have a larger area because I've layered up on the card front, so I can add my flowers and have a nice large area to secure that. I'm just gonna add that with my hot glue because it's a little bit of a heavier arrangement, and so I want it to be very secure. I'll just press that down while the glue sets up, and then when it's all set, I can poof my petals back up from those die cut flowers. Now I have a second smaller arrangement for the top right corner just to balance that larger one here, and so it's just one of the blue flowers in the cherry blossom. I did add the leaves and all the trims there, as well as a second bow, and that will go here to balance the left hand corner. I do want to be aware that this portion is a little bit smaller, so I'm keeping my floral arrangement within the border of that blue pumpkin paper. I did want to bring in a little bit of my usual finishing embellishments. So I have a pumpkin here with a beautiful leaf, and so this one is not a jack-o'-lantern. I think that will help this card have a little bit longer of a shelf life because you're going to probably be able to leave this up all the way through fall if the pumpkin doesn't have a jack-o'-lantern face on it. And so I've just added that with my hot glue. I put the string in and I'm gonna cover that cut edge with my vintage button. And then instead of those very metallic orange sequins I have been using for my other projects this week, I've brought down those kind of marshmallowy colored ones that I have in my stash, and I'm going to incorporate 3. I just want to distribute them in a sort of organic kind of arrangement so it doesn't look like it was exactly placed. Go back to my Tombow to adhere those. So that's all for our project for day 10. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you come back tomorrow for day 11. And before we get into the question of the day, I just wanted to give you a quick update for our project for day 9. I did have a little trouble linking the die set in the description without linking our account, and so I did ask the advice of Tech Hubby, and he showed me how to link that die. So if you're interested in checking out that box die, I have added it to the top of the description for day 9, so you don't have to scroll, it's just right at the top. And I would recommend going over there quickly because as of this morning there were only 13 left. So you can find the link for that die at the top of day 9. And now for the question of the day. If you could replace Halloween with any other holiday, would you? And if you would, what holiday would it be? I would say I would not, because I do really love Halloween, but if I had to pick one, it would be 2 Christmases. So let me know in the comment section what you would pick. And don't forget, you can check the description for links to all our socials. Remember to give me a big thumbs up for this project. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.